What's going on, everybody? This is Inner Circle Podcast, episode 28. This is also the first episode of the new year. So, we're going to talk about some things. All right. So, how many of y'all made New Year's resolutions? Because I know I made a couple. I know a couple people who made a couple as well. And how many of us actually keep them? Statistics say only 2% of us actually keep our New Year's resolution. So, my question today, and what the topic of today's podcast is going to be, is are you going to keep your New Year's resolution this year? So I want y'all to think. I want y'all to sit back and ask yourself, what's my New Year's resolution? Is it to lose weight? Is it to start that business? Is it to finally open up my Bible and read it? And what are some steps that you could take to do that? Because at the end of the day, we have excuses and results in life, but you can't have both. So you're going to have excuses or you're going to have results. So what kind of person are you going to be? And that's the challenge I want to have for y'all today. This episode is not going to be that long. I'm not going to take too much of y'all's time, but I just want to keep y'all captivated for a second on just a thought of what kind of person are you going to be this year? Are you going to be somebody who creates these excuses? Are you going to be somebody who creates the results that you want to see in your life? And I think at the end of the day, it all depends on your drive. It all depends on what you're feeding yourself at the end of the day too. I mean, if you look at any bodybuilder, anybody who's working out, they feed themselves certain things whenever they're training. So it's the same thing in this instance too. What kind of certain things are you feeding yourself? Are you feeding yourself negativity from other people or even yourself? Are you surrounding yourself with unnecessary drama, unnecessary things that you don't need? Are you on Netflix too long? Are you watching too many videos on Instagram and scrolling instead of learning something new? Are you even working towards becoming a better person if that's what your New Year's resolution is? Because for me, that's one of mine, is me becoming a better person when it comes to how I speak, how I articulate my words, how I communicate with other people. Another one for me is, being a better husband and being a better father. Just a multitude of things that I feel like I could be better in. And the only way that I can do that is if I hold myself accountable. And, sometimes it might be hard for you to hold yourself accountable. So it's also good to have an accountability partner to keep you accountable and to help you in those areas. But at the end of the day, are you just going to keep creating these excuses? Or are you going to go out there and you're going to dig deep inside of you and find that drive and find that opportunity to be a better person, to be a better you? Because at the end of the day, if somebody told me that if you're just 1% better than you were yesterday, you're already doing a good job. You're already becoming better at the end of the day. If you're just 1% better than you were yesterday, and that's all that really matters, is that you're stepping out and you're finally doing something that you said that you were going to do, stepping out and saying that you were going to do what you said back then. And for all my business people out there, at the end of the day, it is all risk, and sometimes it does get scary. Sometimes it does seem like a challenge. Sometimes it does seem like it's out of reach or maybe even impossible. But at the end of the day, everything was impossible before it was possible. If you think about it, everything was impossible before it was possible. The Wright brothers, it was impossible to fly. No man could fly. But the Wright brothers did it anyways. They still went out there every single day, tested out those gliders every time until it finally worked. Electricity didn't work. It was impossible to see in your house at night unless you had a candle. But he was like, what was his name? Tesla? He said, nah, boy, I'm going to create electricity. Well, he didn't create electricity. You know what I mean, though. But he created the light bulb. So everything was impossible before it was possible. So if you're sitting here telling yourself it's impossible to do this, it's only going to be impossible until you finally do it. Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. We've all heard that verse, but what I want to point out is that in the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. So what I want to let y'all know is that in the beginning, you're going to have to create something. That means that he created something out of nothing. So that means that when you want to start building something new, you're going to have to create. You're going to have to get down there and you're going to have to start putting in the work yourself. And most of the times, it's going to be something you end up doing alone. Sometimes you might have to miss out on a birthday. You might have to miss out on certain get-togethers. There's been times where I had to miss out on certain things because I wanted to go record. I wanted to go shoot pictures. I wanted to go put in more work in my craft and what I wanted to do. And to me, it's fruitful. To me, it makes sense. To me, it's important. And to other people, it may seem dumb. To other people, it may seem like a waste of time. And honestly, that's what sets other people apart from other people. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people, when they created businesses, they did lose out on a lot of time. They did lose out on a lot of things. And sometimes it is a sacrifice to get what you want. And sometimes it's a sacrifice to get even what you need. And, on your New Year's resolution, whatever it may be, there are going to be sacrifices, because if not, it wouldn't have been a New Year's resolution. You wouldn't have waited until the new year to finally do it, because at the end of the day, it probably is a sacrifice what you're trying to do. And the thing about sacrifices is that you're losing something to gain something. But sometimes what you're losing isn't worth what you're what you're gaining is worth more than what you're losing, is what I'm trying to say. That's what a sacrifice is. You're losing something to gain something, but at the end of the day, what you're gaining will be worth more than what you're losing. If only 2% of us actually keep our New Year's resolution, that means that 98% of us are doing it wrong. That means that 98% of us are not holding fast to what we wanted to do, are not holding fast to what we thought we could do. And at the end of the day, we're basically doing ourselves a disservice. We're saying that we don't believe in what we said that we were going to do in January 1st, and you're kind of making yourself look like a liar at the end of the day too, because you're not holding on to what you said you're going to do. You're not keeping true to what you said you're going to do, because the Bible says let your yes be yes and your no be no. So if you said you was going to do something, you got to do it. You have to. You don't have a choice. That's how I view my life. I tell myself that all the time. Whenever I said that I was going to do something, I'm like, and my wife would be like, "Oh," because I'll be like, "I don't want to go no more." Right? Look, this is a secret. So sometimes when I say, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna go do something," yeah, or I'm gonna go somewhere, and then like later on, I'll be telling Melody, it's like, "I don't feel like going," and then she's like, "Oh, don't go." It's like, "Nah, but I gotta go because I said I was gonna go." So that's at least how I do it in my life, and I think it's a cool thing to do too. If y'all were to do that too, just say, I mean, if I said I was gonna do it, then I guess I gotta do it, and that's basically how I live my life. And also too, it keeps yourself accountable. It's a way to keep yourself accountable in a way that's saying like, okay, well, I'm not gonna commit to something if I'm not 100%, and if I commit to something, then I gotta be 100%. It's the same. It's the same way back and forth and vice versa. You know what I mean? That's why there's certain things that I won't say that I'm gonna do. Like there's certain things that I say I won't commit to, because I know that I won't be 100% in that area. And then there's things where I do commit and I have to be 100% in that area, even when I don't feel like it. And I think keeping yourself accountable like that will definitely help you grow as a person. I think that it'll definitely stretch you in a different way to keep yourself accountable like that. And I just want to tell y'all that y'all could take that way of thinking too, and that y'all can use that in your daily walk and in your life too, to just to grow. You know what I mean? Because that's what I really want for everybody. This 2022 that we just came into, that I want everybody to grow in their own way, grow in a deeper way, whether it be they want to start growing something like a business, or if they want to become a better person, if they want to grow as a person, or if they want to grow in their relationship with the Lord. I think that's also very important, growing your relationship with the Lord, because that's also one of my New Year's resolutions, is to, obviously read my Bible more and press in more with the Lord, being the worship leader at Church on the Move. If you're in the Church on the Move, then where you at? 1502 Houston Street. Y'all know where it is. I already say it. I feel like every episode I shout out Church on the Move. But being the worship leader there, I definitely want to step into that role on a more deeper level. And also too, I just want to step into a deeper relationship with the Lord, because I don't know, I feel like it's about time, because I'm an adult now. Obviously, I've been an adult for a while, but I'm 24 now. I have a kid, married, so I think it's about time that I start stepping into a deeper level with the Lord. And I think it's good to know who our Creator is and to have a relationship with Him, because the Lord obviously cares about us, and the Lord obviously wants to have that relationship with us. That's why He sent His Son to die for us, so that we could have that relationship with Him. That's why the veil was torn. Like I think I've spoken about it here before, about the veil, because back then, only the priest could enter into the Holy of Holies, where the Lord's presence was. And there was a veil, which is basically a big curtain, like a big rug, basically, that they hung, and then the priest would have to enter crawling underneath it, because it was so thick. And that's how they entered the presence. So when Jesus came and He died for our sins, that veil was torn, so that we could all have access to the Holy of Holies, so where we could all have access to what the Lord, and speak to Him. So we don't have to go through a priest, and we don't have to make sacrifices, and we don't have to do all those things, because the ultimate sacrifice was Jesus Christ. And thanks to Him, we have that direct access with the Lord. So I just want to be able to tell y'all that growing your relationship with the Lord is probably the most important thing you could do this year, because I think this year is a turning point for everybody. I think this year is what 2020 should have been for everybody, when everybody's like, 2020 gonna be my year. 2020 gonna be my year. And then, COVID happened and all that stuff. But, I think 2022 is 2022. You know what I'm saying? That's what I told myself. I know it's corny, but that's what I told myself. It's 2022 part 2, so that we could try again. Because 2021, that was like the in-between moment after, that's the recovery of 2020. And now the 2022, this is the year that, we got to press in. We got to do all that we can do. We got to keep our New Year's resolutions. I think it's very important to keep your New Year's resolutions this year, that whatever you say you're going to do it, you got to do it. Because if not, then you're kind of holding yourself back. I mean, you're doing yourself a disservice. You're not furthering yourself as a person. And I think growing every day, being teachable too, is very, very important for people who don't like to be teachable, because there's people out there like that. And I used to be like that. And that's not a good place to be, because if you're not teachable, you're never going to learn anything. You're always going to be the same. You want to be the same person for the next 20, 30, 40 years of your life? Because that doesn't sound like something you want to be. That's something I don't want to be. Definitely, I don't want to be the same person 20, 30, 40 years from now. I definitely want to be growing daily. And to be able to do that, you have to make yourself teachable. That means laying down your pride. And that means opening up to new ideas, opening up to new ways of doing things, because there's going to be times where somebody knows something more better than you do. And there's going to be times where you might know something better, and I think not having that pride and not having that arrogance is definitely going to help you grow as a person as well. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's all I really wanted to talk about this episode. I just wanted to open this up into the new year. I wanted to be the person to say, thank you for listening to us for 28 episodes straight. For everybody who's still here, for everybody who's new, and that I just want to let everybody know that this year the Inner Circle podcast is going to go further than it did the last year, than when we started in June, and that we're going to keep pushing out to all the way to 52 episodes, and that'll be our 1 year anniversary. And then from there, we're going to continue even after that. And I just want to remind everybody again that, if you do want to start something, if you do want to become more than what you are in life, there's results and excuses, and you can't have both. You're either going to have excuses or you're going to have results, and you can't have both. As my friend Aaron said, you can have both, but it ain't going to be good. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I just want to thank everybody again so much for listening to us. Colton will be back shortly. Eventually, we're going to have an episode with my wife on here. We'll probably have more episodes with my brother. Probably have more episodes with Aaron. Probably have more episodes where we collab with other podcasts. Just a lot of things coming, a lot of things. So be prepared, be listening, be ready, because we're gonna be coming out with a bunch of content for you guys. And it's been real. It's been fun, but it ain't been real fun. So I'm out of here. Peace.